the moment thing. Hello, generational gamer with Mike Mullis from the original Next Level Gaming.
Hey, this is the second time in 2 weeks I've been on your channel.
I know, and I appreciate it both times.
An impromptu. And look, you already got somebody in the chat room. Jose Manuel Sanchez is already in the chat room. He saw it, and he came in. That's the power of generational gamer.
For the GameCube, it is absolutely phenomenal. If that's your main console, even on the Wii, it's not bad because they're basically the same anyway. I like it on the PS2. N64 is okay, and then it pretty much steadily goes downhill in value after that.
Okay, well,
let me just tell you the reason why. So, there's only so much you can do with that N64. It looks pretty bad regardless. It looks a little bit better with the mClassic, but it's not phenomenal. I mean, let's be honest, it's not perfect. And if you're using it for anything minor, you better get close to the TV because otherwise you're not going to see it.
Okay.
So here's one key thing that I find very good about it. Some TVs do not have the ability to change the aspect ratios now. And with that, it's just a matter of a switch. In fact, let me go get it. I have it right here.
Okay. So for those of you wondering, I am thinking of getting the mClassic to upscale the Dreamcast, and J Prime here is going to be trying to explain to me the ins and outs to see whether it's worth me getting.
Okay, so basically you have yourself pass-through. It does require power, and on this side, we get to the camera. It has a switch, and if it has power, you can actually see the light. But all the way back, it's just a complete pass-through. Pushing into the center, that's one of the steps. I have to look to see if that's I think that one's just the upscaling. And then towards all the way to the front, it's the 4x3.
Gotcha.
And it's 640 by 480. I don't think that's actually the correct aspect ratio, but it's pretty good. Here, let me plug this in to my computer so you can see it.
And that's the generic problem that I have with the Hyperkin cable and the Dreamcast going into an Elgato. I can't natively get the Elgato to pick it up.
Let me ask you a question. What Elgato model do you have?
I have the HD60S. No, not the S. I have the HD60, just a straight up 60.
This is the 60S Plus. I like it.
Right.
Way overpriced. I'm probably actually going to sell it. I bought one of these. This is $70 on Amazon. In fact, I just bought a second one so I can split it and have two things going out simultaneously, and it'll be the exact same quality. The video I streamed yesterday was entirely with this.
Really?
Yep, no issue whatsoever.
What are you using for your streaming software at this point?
Streamlabs OBS for streaming, and then OBS for recording. And that's a lot cheaper. That's why I have two of them now. I'm probably going to sell this one. And this is the 6S or 60S Plus.
So where did you get that? Amazon?
Amazon. Here, I'll put the link in the thing. Give me a sec.
Yeah,
I've purchased two of them so far.
Wow.
Because I got tired of making my life difficult and I want to be as easy as possible. And I have no problem. I mean, I am using a Mac, but OBS is OBS.
Right.
And if I really wanted to, I could run Windows on it. I just don't. Because it kind of defeats the purpose. All right, so orders. Let me go back in here. So it's this one right here. And the first one I got was the gray one. And then the second one I bought, where the hell's the Amazon shortener? Did the Amazon shortener disappear in my Amazon Assistant for Chrome? Oh, there it is. All right. It's this thing right here. In fact,
I see it. Oh, I see it. Is it by? Did you get the one that says Guden?
Yeah, it's just a cheapie. I got the silver one first, and then the one I got last night was which I haven't even taken out of the box yet, was the blue one.
The blue one.
So there's two colors you can get, black or blue. The black one's the one you saw before.
Because I mean, I don't need to stream in 4K. I certainly don't have the strength to run, the computer strength to run it.
Mm-hmm.
But what I don't want to do at this point, and I was going to get there's a splitter that I was going to get. Right now, I'm running just a Rocketfish 4K splitter.
Yeah.
So if I want to do anything on the Xbox One X, which is in 4K, my issue is I have to do some maneuvering in order to run. If I want to stream, I have to play in scaled down 1080p. I want to be able to play on my TV at 4K while streaming at 1080.
Okay, well, that's going to cap out. The one I just showed you is going to cap out at 1080p,
which is fine.
Not push it anywhere through it. And I don't have any 4K TVs.
Now this says 4K HDMI though.
It's pass through.
Okay, all right. Now
I think it's supposed to be pass through, but then again, it's a cheapy box, so I don't expect much.
So the other thing too, which you got to be careful of, especially when you go 4K, is whether or not these support HDR, and this does not. So that would also, it would depend upon whether or not for the Xbox streaming, as long as I go through the splitter into the receiver, out the receiver to the capture card to the TV, and as long as I can keep the 4K mode running on the X, that wouldn't work.
You should,
because the receiver is what downgrades the signal.
Do you have an example of your setup? Because I had a 60S before. I sold that one. I bought the 60S Plus. So I'm curious to know what the setup is so we can figure out what's going on. So when I did mine, hold on one second. So when I did mine, and it worked fine, as well as the HD60S could work on a Mac, because you had to use their software or their driver. You had to manually load it, and it quickly overtook the processor on the Macintosh operating system, and it worked fine for like 5 seconds, and then it's just like, all right, it's a pain in the ass now. So, but when I ran it from the Dreamcast cable, Hyperkin. I know that worked. I ran it from
to that generic box.
No, to the one you have, the HD60S.
I don't have the S, and I think that's
the
problem.
You have the original.
I have the HD60.
Okay. So that one caps out at 1080p too, doesn't it?
It does, but what it doesn't... So the problem is that when I turn on the Dreamcast...
What are you using to play with the Dreamcast? Is it one of the VGA converters?
It's the Hyperkin.
Okay.
Now, when I did VGA to HDMI converter, that worked, but it would off-center the screen. It would off-center the picture on the TV.
That's actually an issue with the Hyperkin.
So I don't have that issue with the Hyperkin, believe it or not. But,
I don't either. I've never experienced it, but I know
that I haven't either. But the Elgato picks it up as 640 by 480 instead of 720 by 480.
Okay.
And
there should be a checkbox in the software to do that.
I can't get it to work.
Can you pull up your screen and show me?
No. Not unless I... Can I? Hold on.
Yeah, there's a button at the bottom.
No. Well, no. It's not that. See, I'm not on the PC that I stream from.
Oh, okay.
But I need to see if...
Actually, I have the Elgato software loaded on mine. Hold on a sec.
I have the Game Capture HT. If I can...
Oh, I must have gotten rid of it.
I'll tell you what. Give me 2 minutes. I think I can do this. Okay. If you want to do a little commentary on continue your commentary on the mClassic for a minute, I can run. So this is the machine that I do the podcasting from.
Right.
And when we do live demos and things like that, I've got long enough USB cables from over the other side of the room
Gotcha.
to bring the Elgato in. Give me 2 minutes to run those cables over here, and then I'll be able to do it.
All right, cool. So, I don't know who's on, but thank you for joining. And if you didn't catch the video I did yesterday, I played with the... What is it? That's the Switch version. I used the 8-bit do version of this yesterday while playing on the analog Mega Super NT to demonstrate and did a Q&A. Drawing a damn blank today. That's what I'd get for not getting enough sleep. Let me show my screen real fast here. So I just picked up one of these, and it seems to work pretty well. I actually like this thing. I have 2 of them now. And this is the one I originally bought, and I streamed from yesterday, and the quality looked perfectly fine. The link is already in one of these chats, but it was the video from just yesterday. But I think this one is the one, HD60. This is the one that Mike is talking about. Oh, I can't spell for shite. So that's the S, and they don't even sell these anymore, do they? Nope. Go to Elgato.com and see what's there. So the 60S is pretty standard. I like it. It's just it's a pain in the butt with the Mac, and I don't see anything older than that. The 60S Plus is apparently only available at Best Buy, which is just stupid. It's a cool device, but when I run my mClassic through it, it's a 1440p. Neither my monitors nor my TVs are actually support it, so it doesn't work. But yeah, you get the 4K 60 HDR pass-through on that, which is pretty dang sweet. The one I was showing before, the one that I just got, the cheapies, which is the only reason I picked them up is just because I wanted to be able to show the identical thing. One of the things I noticed when I split the signal is that the HD60S Plus was always faster. So the specs on this are a little bit different, not quite as good. It's as basic as possible, but you can get almost 3 of these for the price of the Elgato. So it's like, all right, unless you're really into it, probably not worth spending a small fortune on the Elgato. It can go up to, yeah, it can go, here's the resolution. So we have 1080p. Yeah, it's right there. And it can go up to 60 frames per second. It does not appear to have HDR. Let's do HDR. Nope. Oh, HDR is somewhere in here. Where is it? Where are you? Oh. It has a power cord, but I never use it. The mClassic, on the other hand, it's a pretty cool device. I've used mine for quite a bit. I have an entire playlist just geared to this thing on different consoles. I can tell you right now, on these consoles right here, pretty useless. I can barely tell a difference on the PS4 and on the PS3. Some games on the Switch look better, but here's the goodness of it. Look at that. Without and with. You can see that's a legitimate difference, although that is on the Switch, so I don't believe it. It's a big fat phony. God of War, these games, you can't see it anywhere. But I think this is Smash Brothers. And you can see it does polish it up and smooth it out a bit. It looks nice. I like it. But for the retro consoles of the PS2 generation, what is that? Generation 5, Generation 6? Let's see. NES was Generation 3, and then Super Nintendo. So the N64 was 5, and then, so yeah, Generation 6. It was actually pretty good. The Generation 5, it was, there's only so much you can do with a blocky 3D game. And it's fun and all, but I mean, the best thing about that era is that you can make it 4:3 for a TV that doesn't support it. And I like that. That is incredible. Is it worth $100? Probably not, because you can just get used to it. Some devices that don't support 4:3 but should be in 4:3, Pandora's box. Beneficial. Right. 32X actually benefits from this a little bit on the 2 3D games that has Virtual Racing and what's the other one? Virtual Fighter. All right, let me go back to you. Let's see what you got going on.
All right, I'm firing up my software here.
Fire away. You have anything you can hook up to it just to make sure?
Yeah. Oh, okay, no, I got the... Yeah. Oh, a new version of the capture software is available.
Shocker.
Yeah, but I don't know.
So do you use the actual software? Because OBS should be a direct plug-in on OBS.
Really?
Yeah. Video capture device.
Hang on.
Just create a new scene selection and we can take a look at it.
Well, I think that you still need to have the driver installed.
On the PC, it shouldn't matter. On the Mac, it does.
Oh, hang on.
Let's give it a whirl.
All right, fire up my OBS.
Okie dokie.
Here, we'll...
What an age we live in. We're able to talk over the internet.
I know.
Who would have thunk it?
All right. Oh, hang on. It's my...
Oh, I gotta allow it. Hold on.
Okay. Okay. All
right, so
I don't have it already. All right, so let's do this. We'll just fire up a new scene here.
Yeah.
And
just go to plus.
All right, and then video capture device.
I like the background. How do you do those?
So that is the Master J. Williams.
All right, so I'll have to
Graphic God at graphic_God. I think it's underscore God. Yeah, that's.
It's an animated GIF, isn't it?
It's just it's an MP4.
Is it? It's a movie running in the background? That's cool.
Yep, and it runs in a loop.
Okay. Actually, I can do that. I see it. It's a pattern that's moving around, and then it's layered, and then it's constantly running. Okay.
Right.
All right, so one moment, please.
So all these things that you see...
Are they separate or all one piece?
The Next Level Gaming logo is one piece, along with the chat room and next topic. Mm-hmm. But the Gamers United Guild is a separate MP4. All of our other stuff, just to show you, all of these things that are moving around, and like all of like these, with all this fancy color rotation and stuff, are all MP4s.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Let me see if I've got the right. Let
me expand the screen a bit so I can see it all.
Okay. Oh yeah. Hang on a sec.
Mm-hmm. Okay, format not supported.
Okay.
All right, I see the format not supported. That's the error you get?
Yep. Now, if I go in to the device, because you have to... let's see. Do custom. Let's see if it'll... No, let me see if I can play with it. Maybe there's a bit of this that...
I think there's an option for it, but I mean, for what you're trying to do, it's going to force it into 640 by 1080 by 720. It's going to force it into that aspect ratio and resolution anyway. I'm watching it on a separate screen so I can actually see it. It's way too small on my monitor.
All right. So if I click configure video, it should bring up the Elgato capture.
So you're actually using the capture device. I see that. So yeah, double click on that. Let me see what you got in there.
All right. Here, we'll make this a little bigger too. To bring this up to. Bring it up to.
That's fine. It's just an example anyway. So yeah, let's go into the settings on that. So let's see what you got there.
All right.
Yeah, just double click on it.
Okay. So if I click configure video, it's supposed to. Here we go. So yeah, I know. Thank you. So this is what comes up. So it throws it into I'm sorry. It throws it into 720 by 480 and says not supported.
Okay, so we can transform that though. Double click on it. Let me see what your options are. You don't have an option to go in or right click on video capture device and go into that.
Yeah, that's what's here.
Yeah, I want to see that so I can see what your options are.
Oh.
All I see is formats not supported.
Got it. Hold on. I want to screen.
Hey, Anthium, welcome.
Hey, Anthium. Sorry, I didn't realize it was just sharing the window.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay,
so I'm waiting for it to appear on my monitor because there's a bit of a few seconds delay.
Okay, I can see it on the stream.
Small. Okay, so I see us now. I'm gonna just get really close since it's the only thing on there. Elgato game capture card. Okay, hold on.
You can't click on my picture and make it your full because I see it on the StreamYard screen.
Okay, yeah, I can see it all now. All right.
Okay.
So under resolution FPS type, you should have option. There's a drop down there.
Yeah, and you could do custom.
Yep.
And I could try that, but when I do that,
it disappeared again.
Well, it did because I clicked OK. The issue is it still says format not supported because
configure video. Yeah, I see it. I see it.
Yeah, thanks. But unless
let's take a look at it and see what it does.
Yeah, I'll.
We get it working in one, it'll work in the other.
Yeah. So
there is an option in that software to change an unrecognized format.
All right. So this is the error I get. 720 by 480 not supported.
Okay. There should be an option to fix that. Hold on. Stretch standard definition. We don't want to do that. Do you see that where it says convert standard definition input to 640 by 480?
Yep. But
does it do anything for you?
Let's try it, and we'll uncheck stretch standard. And input device, I'm going to change that to other.
Shouldn't really matter.
It shouldn't, but
change the profile to. Might as well make it standard right now. Now, one of the problems I've noticed with this software on my retro games with the HD60S is that it does not look good. It's way too low resolution. In which case, yes, for what you're doing, the mClassic should fit your needs just fine.
Yeah. And
look a hair better too.
Yeah, and look, the oh, wait a minute. What's it doing? Hang on. It's doing something. Oh, still format not supported.
All right. Where's the software now?
Hold on. So what I've been doing to get around this, but it's not the most ideal thing, is I've been plugging this into the HDMI in on the Xbox One X because it outputs in the correct format.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
And I haven't seen a ton of lag.
That's good,
if any. So
so the You can't see it right now. Well, you might be able to. This thing will force it into an aspect ratio that should be right, and the resolution should be something that it is supported. So let me take a quick look at what resolutions are supported in this, because it's going to come in at 1080p it'll probably come in at 1080p,
which is all I need.
Yeah, it'll make a moderate difference. I mean, Dreamcast, it looks better, but it's not like a massive thing. Let's go back to us here.
All right.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so let me just take a quick look at the specs. Specs for HD60. Oh, this is USB 2. That thing's ancient. They're still selling it. It's selling for $220 on Amazon. You can buy a brand new one for that much.
What? A brand new what?
HD60S Plus for that amount. That's ridiculous. Let's see. So, you know what's funny? Oh yeah, it does say 480p. What aspect ratio? What's the resolution of 480p? It should be 640 by 480, right?
Well, so 640 by 480. So here's the thing, and this is what makes the Dreamcast such a difficult console for converting to HDMI. The Dreamcast isn't 480p. It outputs to the VGA cable at 640 by 480.
Okay.
Because it has to hold a 4:3, and it holds a 4:3 aspect ratio. So, with that, the Dreamcast, the HDMI cables try to stretch the X vertebra, the X vertice to 720 to try to make it, and that just screws up, the.
Gotcha.
The Hyperkin doesn't like it. I have another cheaper, one of the, like a no name cable, and it works, but it washes the white is so bright it washes out the screen.
I have actually since moved to the Keiko cable for the Dreamcast. My Dreamcast isn't even set up right now, but I like the Keiko. They sent it to me, and hey Rich, they sent it to me, and I did a review, and I've done a lot of videos comparing it side by side to the Hyperkin. And the Keiko, the aluminum design, and just looking at them side by side, the Keiko does look better. But I wouldn't spend any more money on cables for it. Quite frankly, if you're really trying to get the best, you want a RetroTink, and then feed that into the mClassic.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
HD. I mean, you're going to be spending more than the console is worth to get it to do that, if that's your only goal. Because if you can do S video to the RetroTink, because it can only accept 480i in. That's the maximum. And then it'll output to HDMI at 480p, which can then go into the mClassic, which will then be 1080p, and it should look fine on your device. And it'd probably just be cheaper to update your device rather than doing all that, because I've never had that problem on the 60S or S Plus.
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out. I mean, what does the Gecko cable do?
Which one's a Gecko?
The whatever cable you just said you were
Keiko.
using. Keiko.
Yeah, here I'll put the link in there so you can see it. Where the heck did my Amazon shortener go?
Now, it's surprising that you and I got to look at the video again. I'm surprised that you said that the Saturn, which is 240p,
it was through a RetroTink. In most cases, I did use a Hyperkin or I think it was a pound cable for the Saturn.
I got to say, the Hyperkin cable for the Saturn is lights out. And
I did both of them. I did do both of them.
And it has got a switch for 4:3.
I know.
Or 16:9, and that's really nice.
Let me go. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay, the Hyperkin. While you're doing that, the Hyperkin cable for just straight up output to the TV is really good. The quality is really good. I had no problem. There was no input lag. That wasn't the issue. The issue strictly is streaming.
Yeah, importing it.
And when I did my retro rally racing segment,
I did do a video. I did a video on the Pound Genesis, inputting it into the Saturn. If you use an HD Retrovision cable, you can do that with relative ease.
Yeah, because it's got the connector for both.
Right, and then I did do a review on the Hyperkin. Wow, that's a long time ago.
Yeah,
and then I did a bunch of games on it. Let's see, and I did it with and without the mClassic.
Yeah, it's like I keep telling you, the reason that I know you in the first place is because I bought the Saturn Hyperkin cable based on your video, because I liked what I saw, and to be honest, the end result, and I've got a 75-inch TV,
okay,
so 4K TV, and I have to, knowing that the Saturn's going to blow up on a screen like that and be pixelated. I mean, you go into it understanding.
Okay.
But I got to tell you, the quality is great. So if the mClassic does what it says it does, and it actually will upscale that to even up to 1440.
It will do to 14. It'll do to 1440, but if your TV doesn't support it, it will cap it at 1080p.
So even at that, moving that from 240p to 1080p, I have a feeling it's going to look pretty good.
It probably will. I think it'll do what you're asking it to do. And I mean, just with the more modern stuff, I wouldn't expect anything too exciting. Like, you have an Xbox, you can leave it.
Yeah.
When I use it, so I don't leave it connected all the time, because it does get a little warm. And this shield right here is actually what came off that time. It just pops off. And I'm not going to pull it, but it requires power, and I don't like leaving stuff plugged in all the time if I'm not going to use it. It's in my basement. So basically, I just have a little HDMI extender, and I put it in between the cable and the extender. And then it's on my Switch, and then I just push a button, and it's whatever console I want.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that what I've heard about it is that it's supposed to even enhance, modern, Now, here's the other thing. I have a base PS4.
Yeah.
Which is 1080. I wonder what that would do. I mean, it's obviously not going to make it into a. I'm well aware. It's not going to turn it. It's not going to turn the PS4 into a PS Pro. I know that, but it could upscale that image to 4K, right, or 1440.
It'll be 1440. So one of the key things to remember with this device is that you want to use the native resolution. So if the Hyperkin cable, let's say, upscales it to 720p, don't expect much at all, because now you're beyond its native resolution. The Switch, most games are 720p out of the box. They're upscaled manually or automatically by the system, so the 720p is where you want it. Now, I still don't see much of a difference. The one I did for Animal Crossing, with them side by side, I saw it. But in person, just playing them separately, never noticed it. And that's one of the key things. And I know how it's sold. It's sold as, it's going to blow you away. It's a graphics, and it does on certain things. If you're flipping the Switch back and forth, you will absolutely see the difference. If you, on certain consoles, in the GameCube, PS2, maybe sometimes Dreamcast, you will probably see it. Xbox to some degree, but that has a lot of anti-aliasing, so you're not going to see too much on that.
Right. The Xbox HDMI cable, which I think, I can't remember if it's the Pound or the Hyperkin, whichever one I got, that one's also pretty dynamite. I mean, games like Rally Sport Challenge and stuff look, I mean, it was looking close to like Xbox 360.
And I think the reason why those are so much better than, say, the ones for the NES, or sorry, Super NES, Genesis, 32X, the reason I think is just because it's not doing some kind of artificial weird scaling, and the colors are just better. You'll notice, like when I was talking to Paul from Pound, And I don't know if you saw that interview, but I did. It's just part one. I really need to work on the rest. In any case, he was telling me how some of them started off the same. He even said one of them, I don't remember which one it was identical, and then it forked. So some of them in the early days were really, really bad. Now I know if you follow Retro RGB, they all suck, but I don't, so I don't really care. I'll go by my own two eyes. I've used the Xbox Pound. I've used the Xbox Keiko. I did a ton of videos on them. It hasn't been released yet. They sent me one for practice or playing with it. And I borrowed an Xbox. I didn't have an Xbox to play with it. And you could see the Keiko looked a little bit better, but it was in development. They're being tweaked. They're not all identical, and that's something to be mindful of too. But in any case, the I don't see why it wouldn't work for your needs. Might be time to update that capture device anyway.
Yeah.
Aver Media has a pretty cool one. If I sell my 60 plus, I may end up picking that up and just leave it permanently attached to my desk area, so it's always ready to go. Because I play a lot of games in this area where I'm sitting right now, and I usually bring my consoles in here when I'm ready to play them, as opposed to going in and sitting somewhere comfortable for a stream. Just because I've got 3 monitors sitting here, it's easier. A laptop and two 24 inches. So, yeah, I have not played it. I have not used the mClassic on the PS4 lately. I think the last time I did was Fallen Order, and I literally had to stand in front of the TV to see the difference, and it was minor.
Well, yeah, and again, I'm not necessarily looking at it that way. I'm not looking at it to...
You're looking as a scaling feature.
Yeah, I'm looking at it for scaling.
Okay, and then you've got other options too, like the OSSC, which is...
Ooh, breaking news.
Breaking news.
After 2 weeks, my Retro Game Treasure box finally came.
That's cool. I hope you get something that's unique and hard to come by.
Well, do you want to look?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look.
Let's take a look.
I'll send you the video. You can put it on yours if you want.
All right, Seth, we need something to open the box with. A pair of scissors.
That's nice. So I subscribed to them for a couple weeks.
Can we get a pair of scissors?
Okay.
And I went through and I checked off everything I already had, which was a lot of them. And then the only things that were left were the expensive ones. They couldn't find enough for me. Whoops. So I ended up having it canceled.
Yeah, after a while, and they say they do tell you that.
Yeah.
No. Now, as if there's anything Xbox or Wii in this one, I don't know if it's gonna. We'll see. All right, Seth.
Here, let's
dun,
change the.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, let's stick with this way. Get more of a screen.
All right, here we go. Live unboxing of the Retro Game Treasure. Live on Generational Gamers.
Well, it's about time somebody has a live. Yeah, Rich is saying, open that box.
All right, here we
go. I'll
check
price charting while you're doing that.
All right. Ooh, all right. Oh, well. How did I get? All right.
What'd you get? I know Pete's gotten some brand new games on it already.
All right, so for Seth and his Nintendo DS, 7 Wonders 2, and it's sealed. It's actually a sealed box. It has never been opened.
Wow.
According to price charting, that's a $9 acquisition.
That's a $9 game. All right. And
that is being sealed. Complete new price.
Do I no longer have an original copy of Halo? Because now I have an original Halo Combat evolved. Hold on, Seth. Hold on. I thought I had... Maybe I don't have Combat Evolved anymore. Hold on.
Is it complete?
It doesn't have the book. I'd have to go get a manual. But other than that, all right.
All right, so the box is $346. The disc is $6, so you're at like $9-10.
All right, for the Nintendo GameCube, Star Wars Rebel Strike Rogue Squadron 3.
Okay.
I've never seen this before.
I think
That one is actually a little hard to come by.
Yeah?
I think so.
Let's see, Rebel Strike.
Rebel Strike Rogue Squadron 3. Look at that.
Wow.
Is it complete?
The only thing it's missing is a book.
Dang. So complete. Okay, that's actually only a $20 game complete.
Oh.
The manual is $7 and change.
All right. Well, if I ever want to actually collect, I'll go get a manual. So this has a let's see. So Game Boy Advance compatible, 2-player, simultaneous. This looks good, Seth. And we got one more.
Game Boy Advance?
He has one.
No, but what do you do with it on the cube?
I don't know. It looks like it shows a picture of the Game Boy Advance.
Oh, I bet it's one of those where you connect it and it has its own separate screen, kind of like Pac-Man Versus.
Okay. All right, and the fourth game, Rapala Pro Bass Fishing for the Wii.
Which is it? What year is it?
There is no year on it.
Okay, I found it.
And no book.
Again.
So here, now you can go pro fishing, bud.
That's another about $10. You broke. I think you broke even on that.
Yeah, broke even this month. I thought for sure that maybe I don't have a copy of the original Halo. Maybe I only have. I mean, I've got Halo 2. Hey Seth, could you go over to the?
I am Halo-less.
Yeah. Could you go over to the?
Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
Go ahead.
All right.
Go over to the Xbox section of our game collector. See if there's a box for Halo 1. Not Halo 2, just Halo. It's going to be in alphabetical order. Maybe I don't. We don't. Oh my goodness. Okay. Huh. All right. Well, then I didn't have this game to begin with.
All right.
All right. Well, as it turns out, I do not have an actual copy of Halo Combat Evolved. I have special edition for the second one, but I don't have it. So
congratulations, Mazel Tov.
There we go.
Let me go get some wine. L'chaim.
So Seth, this is your DS game, and build the 7 Wonders of the World.
Ooh.
Oh, it's like a matching game. So it's like columns.
Okay. Columns is fun.
Columns is fun.
Puyo like games.
Candy Crush, that kind of stuff.
I like playing that. Those games are phenomenal.
Yeah.
So
I can't believe I did. Oh, I can't believe I didn't have an actual copy of.
I can assure you, I don't have any of them. I've never owned an Xbox before.
Really?
I know that's blasphemous, but I've never owned an Xbox. I think that's going to change the next generation because
weird is what that is.
I've said this before. I don't know if it was to you though. When the original Xbox came out, I was doing help desk for Windows software, and I was like, I do not feel like dealing with any more blue screens to death, especially if I'm playing video games. And it just and at the time I was just really anti-Microsoft, and then over the years I've always just purchased PlayStations, and it wasn't until the Switch that I got back onto Nintendo's bandwagon, because I either played the old stuff or I played PlayStation. But I think when the Xbox Series X, S, whatever is released, and the One S drops in price, I'm gonna snag one of them.
Okay.
I do have an Xbox game. It's the Rare Replay. It was on sale, and I wanted to play
what
it.
a great game!
Yeah. Why is so much of it downloadable or required to be downloadable?
Because it's not one game.
I know it's a bunch of games, but you mean to tell me all those old games can't fit on a Blu-ray that they're paying Sony to make?
I'm pretty sure that there is not a. Hold on.
Blu-rays go up to 125 gigabytes today.
No, but I'm not sure there's a physical version. See, Rare Replay was a. Oh no, there is.
It does have a physical version. I have one sitting behind the screen right now.
So you got to remember how these work. Everything is installed now.
I know.
So, but they're separate games mostly because that's how they see some of the games are actually 360 games that are on the backward compatible list.
I know.
And then there's the other games that are actually part of. So
yeah, the Banjo games, I believe, are 360. Perfect Dark is 360. Conquer, they changed that. They changed the logos, so it's no longer Nintendo. Now it's Microsoft Studio.
Yep.
But it uses a decent controller because I've never been a big fan of the N64 controller.
Yeah, I know, right?
I got alternatives now. I got the Hyperkin, I got the Retrobit, and the Retro Fighters. But there's only one that's wireless, and every controller today has to be wireless.
I tell you, yeah.
Oh, excuse me. So, did I help you with your mClassic debacle?
I think so. I think so.
Cool.
I think that I'm trying to. I'm.
Is that an Uncharted poster behind you?
That is.
I thought so. It looks like from Uncharted 3.
It's 4.
Oh, it's 4? Okay. Yep. I steadily lost interest in the series as time went on, so I could mistake 3 and 4 pretty quickly.
Yeah, so I need to what I need to think about here is, do I want to continue to just run the Dreamcast through the Xbox? Because that
would be cheaper.
Yes, it would be cheaper. Or do I get a new capture card, or do I get an mClassic? I don't know how closer I am to this. I mean, the mClassic is not cheap, but it's also not. It's not as expensive as buying a new capture card. The one that would really do what I need.
Which one is that? Does that be the new Elgato or the Avermedia?
Be like an Evermedia.
Yeah.
You know, I think
I've been looking at that one. I'm big. I think that probably would be the way to go.
I mean, the other thing I could do, although the problem is it's more expensive, but I could get the M cable.
Don't even bother with that. First of all, it forces it into widescreen.
Okay.
Which will create a whole new problem for you. Now you can modify that with OBS and use the transform feature to scale appropriate to 640, but I wouldn't mess with it. I think you're looking for trouble at that point. So this one is the Avermedia. I think you're probably better off either getting a new capture card, because yours is kind of ancient, although people are still selling them on eBay, even your model. And let me share my screen again. We can look at this one. This is the one I'm considering. Whoop, wrong button. Wrong button, dang it. Where the hell is Amazon? Amazon. There we go.
Shit.
We're still live.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
When I'm working, I accidentally deleted some stuff I just need to rerun some reports again.
That's all right. So this is what I was kind of looking at to replace my Elgato for something to leave on all the time. It uses USB for power, so that's relatively easy. You just plug it in.
Right.
You can. It has its own video processor in it, so you can record without your stuff connected. Nice and easy. Hey, HTK360,
Hey,
how you doing?
Brother Peter.
You can live stream with it. So I think all in all, this is probably a better way to go. It also, one of the things I've noticed, and you may notice that I have extenders on this. The reason for that is these ports, they just feel really weak.
I haven't had that issue, but I have it kind of connected to, I've got it kind of hooked up. So, that problem I haven't had.
I don't. Well, they're not going to break or anything. It's not going to break in any way, shape, or form. But I have it on there from the constant removal and insertion. This way, if I damage something, I'm damaging the extender, not the port itself.
Gotcha.
So that's the reason why I do it, because I mean, this little wafer-shaped thing is all fine and dandy, but like this, you can see it's pretty solid in there. It's not going anywhere. But the same token, if I'm constantly moving stuff and wires are going all over the place, I'd rather have these bending than this thing bending, you know?
Right. No,
as opposed to the cheaper one, which is pretty solid aluminum. There's not really a whole lot going on with that.
Right. No, that makes sense.
So I'm looking at this. This is the one I currently have, the HD60S Plus. Let's see. Ooh, fancy. I think the specs are definitely better on this than the other one, but it's only available at Best Buy. Awesome. And since I have a Mac USB-C, it comes with a USB-C to A, but I have to use an adapter in order to make it work.
Right.
Which is fine. I actually just bought another cable altogether to simplify things. But I mean, it does look good. I will say that. I just don't leave it plugged in all the time.
Yeah, mine's plugged in all the time.
Okay.
That seems to work okay. It's just that darn... And it really is just the Dreamcast. It's just the Dreamcast. It's all I have problem with.
HTK360, any cons to what? Putting the extenders on? No. It works just fine.
TPS reports.
Yeah, did you see that? That was hilarious. No, there's no cons using the extenders. I'll probably move them over to the cheapie that I have as well, just for simplicity. You know, it gives it a little bit more movement. What kind of GPU do you have, Mike?
I've got an i7. So it's an older. It's
but that's Intel.
Generation.
You don't have an NVIDIA or anything like that?
No. And so I can't remember what card I put in there.
Apparently, Elgato only likes NVIDIA for the Windows.
For this. Well, the reason
Mac side doesn't give a crap.
See, but the difference is because the NVIDIA on the S, the box doesn't do as much processing.
It doesn't really do anything. It just passes.
Yeah.
It seems to just.
It just passes it to the right.
It's a conduit, and that's pretty much the same deal with the 60S Plus. The difference is that one's recognized as a camera. So that day that we came, that you all came on, I was playing Animal Crossing or Ukulele or Turbo. I think it was TurboGrafx. All I did was use that as my camera, and I was playing with it while I was waiting for you guys to come onto the stream.
Yeah, and so with that, the HD60 that I have is only USB 2, so there's a delay.
Yes.
But the actual device is doing the processing, so I don't need as much horsepower.
Gotcha.
I can actually do it. I can actually do a 1080p 60 stream with that on a straight on a straight i7, a 6th generation i7.
Yeah,
so
I got
that's
you.
not a problem. Hey, take it easy, Rich. But I don't know. I'm trying.
And see, that's the difference with the AverMedia. It has its own internal processor. So this one is just basically a camera. All the ones that I have here are basically just cameras, and my computer does all the work.
Yeah, I'm just trying to decide. What I want to do. I mean,
it comes down to how much you feel like spending.
I know, and that's the
Truth
problem.
of the matter is, a capture card that's $130 or mClassic that's $100, you're paying about the same. Now, if you have Castlemania has the mClassic in stock for $100. After $50, it's free shipping, and you probably can get a $20 off on that. So
yeah, I mean, Amazon, I could get it from Amazon for $99 with Prime, and I'd have it tomorrow.
Yes, you could. For Castlemania, it has to come all the way from Washington.
Yeah, of course. Tomorrow, this tomorrow might not be tomorrow. So
I've gotten everything I've ordered from them on Prime. I've gotten it the next day.
Yeah, Amazon's much better than the USPS. Postal Service is not. Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any horror stories on UPS, USPS, or FedEx that are entertaining? So do I. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm waiting.
this retro treasure box that I just got. So the Retro Game Treasure sends stuff out on the 21st to 23rd.
Okay.
So
it's the first.
It's the first. Yeah, I got. Let's see. I saw the tracking for this. These games went from Orlando, Florida, up to Elkridge, Maryland. Sat in Elkridge, Maryland for 7 days.
They were social distancing from your box.
Yes, to the 28th. Okay.
Okay.
Then it went to Milford, Delaware. It had to pass my house to get the truck could have pulled over on the side of I-95 and I would have met it and gotten my box. Then from Milford, Delaware, I'm thinking, all right, maybe it's just coming across and then going to come across this way. No. New Jersey was the next stop. From New Jersey, it went to Capitol Heights, Maryland. From Capitol Heights, Maryland, it went to D.C. From D.C., it went to Abingdon and delivered to me today, some 2 weeks later.
Okay,
well, I'm not quite 2 weeks, but close enough.
So at least it wasn't thrown in the bushes.
Okay.
All right, so when my kids were young, I was still collecting Transformers, the high-quality ones, the Masterpiece collections. And my wife got me this $200 Transformer. Now, mind you, UPS will not leave things at my door that are $20. But the $200 Transformer, not only did they throw in the bushes, but they just left it there overnight because they never rang the bell.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
So I come out to go to the work in the morning, and what the hell? Why is the trash cans all moved? Because we got hedges around our trash cans, and I look, and there's my box. I brought it in, checked to make sure it wasn't busted. And then I said, all right, I guess I'll have to play with this later, and I left. Came home, it was fine, but why hide it? Take a little bit of interest in your job and actually just place it there or ring the doorbell.
Right.
It's not rocket science there. Now, I'm probably going to piss off anybody who's a delivery driver, but that's okay. Don't put it in the bushes. Don't leave expensive things out.
Yay.
And FedEx, I had to call them. I got a note on the door for some cheap, it was like a $20 item. They had to leave it on the door saying nobody was here to sign for it. Who gives a shit? It's a $20 item. I'll risk it. But I filled out the form and said, yeah, come back the next day. Okay, that's fine. Again, they said I wasn't home. Now, this is during the COVID time, so I was home. Nobody was going anywhere during this. So I called them and I said something to the effect of, now I know nobody showed up in my house today because I was home all day. Now, I have no doubt that your employees would never say, you know, I just don't feel like going. They're going to say that they weren't there and just move on to something else. I'm sure that could never happen. I go, oh, that's terrible. I said, so I trust it'll be there tomorrow? Yes. Great. And it was there the next day.
Nice.
Because they never even, the second time, they didn't even leave the damn paperwork. I was getting really pissed. And I can be kind of loud, especially on the phone. So even when I'm not yelling at somebody, it sounds like I could be. I've heard that before.
Well, you have that. What it is, it's a forcefulness.
Yeah.
That gets things done.
That is true. Very true. So, yeah, it was I don't know. I think you're... If you're looking, I think you probably get more out of the mClassic than you would just simply buying a new capture card, only because it's doing something else for you as well.
Well, and here's the thing. I have enough in gift cards to just get it.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, so you made your decision. You can actually stack them if you have more than one. You can put one into another.
Really?
It's supposed to enhance it a little bit. It's really not that bad.
Seems
excessive.
It seems redundant.
Well, no, because it's going to enhance the enhancement. So
right. to how much?
Not enough.
Exactly.
My buddy Nick, he has one also. We bought ours at the same time, and I hooked his up to mine, and I could barely tell a difference on an Xbox One anyway, but we hooked it up with both of them. It's like, wow, that really doesn't make any difference whatsoever. You're buying something now?
No, I'm looking. I'm still looking.
Okay.
Because it is $99.
Yeah, I know. If it's $25, nobody cares. Nobody bats an eye. But once it hits,
get $25 on $50, $70. Yeah. I might. $100. That's a steep price for something that I'm trying to figure out exactly how much I'm going to use. That's the other issues. How much am I going to actually
so when I was considering an OSSC for my HD60S, because one of the issues you'll find with the Elgato software, particularly on the older model capture cards, if you set it to standard, it kind of looks like hell unless it's upscaled. And I was thinking of just making my life easier by upscaling it before it ever got to the box. But then I figured, why am I putting all this time and thought and resource into something just to enhance it enough to make the box that I'm trying to get to work in the first place working? And that's when I bought new equipment for it. Because I value my time far more than the... Well, I mean, the 60S Plus was $200. And they're selling used on eBay for that much right now. That's why I'm leaning towards selling it. It works fine, but
I want to say that I paid $150 for the S.
Yeah.
For the 60, just the HD60. It's not even it's not even an S, it's the HD60.
Right. That's the one that had the processor built in. The 60S does not have any of that, and it's your computer or your graphics card that's doing all the work.
Right.
So if you have an NVIDIA, you're great. But if you have in the PC world, if you have anything else, you're up shit's creek.
Right.
So you got to just decide what you're interested in. I am at the point now in my life where if it makes my life simpler, I'm going to go with it. Just because I value my time more than sitting around there screwing with something to make it work.
Yeah, I'm with you. And that's my back and forth on this.
So that's the only reason why I bought a second one of those cheapies. It's just to make my life easier. So they'll stack better and it'll just be easier to deal with.
The video quality of that cheapie is not bad.
Yeah, you're looking at the analog video?
That one that you showed me, the blue one.
Yeah. Yeah, the AverMedia is pretty cool. I may actually use that as my streaming box in the near future. Yeah, so here is... Where is it? Yeah, I'm going to actually share my screen real fast here. Share my screen. Which one is it? It's this one right here. So this is the one I did yesterday with Metroid. Let's move it over. That's with the cheapie right there.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty damn good.
I mean, it is an analog Super NT on there.
I mean, yeah, you could tell. I mean, you could tell that Seamus is fuzzy. I mean, you can see that it's a composite signal, but it's not bad.
Yeah,
it's not bad at all.
Let's go a little further. I mean, I was playing this game for a while. Yeah, I had not played this game in so long, and I got up a little bit further than this before turning it off. Kraid, I remember being a lot more difficult. I beat him without dying.
I mean, that's still a very decent signal. Now, that's not through the retro tank though, right?
No, that's through an analog Super NT.
Are you going to do, or have you done something with that in the retro tank?
For the Super Nintendo, not too much, and that's only because in order to get it to work really well. I mean, I have a Super Nintendo, and I could run it through S-Video, but I don't have high HD Retrovision cables for it. So one of the dirty little secrets about all the RetroTink praise is that you want to have component. If you have composite or S-Video, it just doesn't look the same.
Gotcha.
And that was something that infuriated me when I first bought the thing. It's like everybody's saying how great this thing is. No, because the Genesis only has composite, and it looks wretched on that. And if you factor in the 32X, it doesn't even work most of the time. But if you use the HD Retrovision cables, it looks phenomenal. So if you use composite, it looks like crap. Nintendo, all of them. S-Video is pretty good. That's what I've done a few with the N64, the Super 64, and the RetroTink are damn near identical. And I actually sold my Super 64 because I bought a second RetroTink. I had a lot of Castlevania money, and I wanted to get the Pro model so I could do a video on it.
Makes sense.
So the N64 is connected to the S-Video side of the older RetroTink, and then the new RetroTink has the component attached to it. Quite frankly, unless you really care about scan lines, I wouldn't even bother with the newer ones. The old one's just fine.
I don't care about scan lines.
Yeah. You can update it, which is a handy little feature because the very early model RetroTinks, they sometimes buzzed. You'd get all this noise and it was terrible. And this is after every YouTuber who got theirs for free said how great it was, and which is one of the reasons I was so pissed. But once you updated the firmware, it was fine.
Okay.
Actually had to. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, so thinking about it again, my end game might be holding out.
I can tell you this: don't even bother with the M cable.
No, I'm not.
I know. Adam Karolak is always talking about how awesome they are. They're not. I had one sitting in here. I've done videos on them myself. It is not very good.
Really?
The mClassic does far better.
Well, I'm sure it does, but
it's newer. It's got newer technology in it. It does look a whole lot better. And the M cable is just mediocre.
Okay.
It will upscale to 1080p though. It'll also be in widescreen if it's a 4x3 game.
Unless your HDMI cable does it.
No, it'll force it into 1080p 16:9.
Oh, really?
Yep. Your TV will have to make the change, assuming you can change it on that resolution.
Gotcha.
Because you'll notice a lot of them you can make the change on a standard definition resolution, but not always on 720 or 1080. So the M cable to me is a non-starter. I wouldn't even consider it.
Okay.
The mClassic, I use it periodically when I'm actually playing, but most of the time I use it for the channel.
Which is what I would be doing.
Yeah.
Unless, but it would be actually, you know what though? It would be for playing it too, because everything is hooked up. So here's how everything's hooked up. This is my setup.
Okay.
So I've got my TV. My TV's got 3 HDMI inputs. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in input number 1 is the Xbox One X. All right. So that's going native 4K from the console to the TV. All of my audio for that goes, and for the TV itself, because the TV, I do actually use some of the smart apps and stuff on it, goes back to my Sony receiver that I've had for many, many years via optical cable.
Yeah.
Because really, I'm kind of past the age of I need, Dolby Atmos, in the room. It's not really that conducive to doing what I want to do.
Okay, I go back. I still use the Iowa stereo I bought when I was a freshman in high school.
There you go. I'm good with I'm good with even Dolby Digital. I don't need True HD and all that nonsense.
You're still leaps and bounds beyond me.
There you go. So, that's input number 1. Now, input number 2 comes out of, so all of my other consoles, Dreamcast, Saturn, Xbox, all go into my receiver because it's got HDMI inputs as well.
Right.
That output goes to the Elgato. The Elgato output then goes into the second input on my TV.
Okay.
The third input is for my PS4 because it is the best way to do the PSVR.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Why not just have a box go into one of them and have your Elgato come out of the HDMI switch?
What do you mean?
So you've got 3 different inputs.
Right.
3 different consoles.
Right.
And
3 different sets. So Xbox One X, because it's 4K native, so I want the native signal going to the TV.
Okay, I get you. So
your
TV
one
adjusts per HDMI channel, then, right?
Yeah. So right. So the next, the second one comes out of the Elgato, but my receiver's acting as that switch box.
Gotcha.
So that's switching between my Dreamcast, my Saturn, and my Xbox because I don't need anything more than 1080p there. So, so that all goes into the Elgato. That then goes into the TV.
Gotcha.
It's the third one was for the PS4 so that I could use the PSVR box without a big issue.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. All right, my wife is going to run some errands.
Okay.
So that's how I'm set up, and that's why what I wanted to do was the consoles that come off the receiver, the Dreamcast, the Saturn, the Xbox, the output that goes to the Elgato, I would have the mClassic right there at the Elgato. So
yes,
let that thing process and then go into the Elgato. That would bring everything on the Elgato up to 1080, and then to the TV would come to 1080 because that's what the process signal would be.
It should work.
That's the final rub. And then I don't, because I also have a DirecTV box down here, and what I kind of wanted to do was my DirecTV box was hooked up to the HDMI input on the Xbox One. I wanted to kind of go back to that so I could watch TV down here again. Which is another
What's a DirecTV? I'm kidding. I know what it is.
We still like that.
What, DirecTV?
Yes, we've had it for 3 decades.
I had the app service for a while, and it was pretty
I don't
bad.
have the app service. Yeah, I don't have the app. Or at least if I have it, we don't use it.
If you subscribed for a period of time, you got a free Apple TV. So I got my Apple TVs. Best part about it, because the service itself wasn't very good, but it's okay. Hey, Nintendo sent me something for my birthday, a custom wallpaper. Yeah.
Oh wow! Yay!
It's from Animal Crossing.
Hey, here's
download
something,
now. Here's something
that didn't cost us anything to make. For you.
Yeah. I got my choice of Smash Brothers, Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart, or Yoshi's Crafted World. What's this say? Yeah, Crafted World. Wow. I would have preferred a discount on something that's in my wish list, but sure. I've only been buying their stuff for 30 years.
It's Nintendo. You get nothing and like it.
That's right.
So.
Oh well.
All right. Well, this has been helpful, I think.
Well, we'll find out. Let's find out together. Let me know what you decide on.
I will. But I appreciate the input here because it's helpful.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah. I figured if we're gonna do a Skype call, we might as well make it live in case somebody else has a question. You're just muted.
Yep, absolutely.
So, all right, man. I'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your help, J Prime, and
yeah, absolutely.
I look forward to dropping in on your channel again.
Yeah, excellent.
So,
all right, man. I'll talk to you later. Everybody in the channel, thanks for stopping by, and
you're welcome, Pete. You're welcome, Pete.
Oh, I have a store too now. You know.
Do you?
I do. It's in the description of this video, actually.
I need to restock on t-shirts. So
cool.
I will take a look.
I need to check out Pete's store. You have a store?
It's not our store, so all of our stuff is done by Jay Williams, Graphic God.
Okay.
So he gets all of the proceeds from that. We don't.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's his logo. It's it's his intellectual property kind of.
Well, see, I'm actually kind of happy then. I just used Fiverr to make a quick logo, and he did an awesome job on it. He had it the next day.
That's awesome. I mean, we're not here to make, money on merch and stuff like that. We're just a bunch of guys having fun.
Yeah. I just want to recoup. So when Blaine did the video on me, I said, my plan for financing isn't quite as altruistic as Pete's right away. Right now, I'd like to recoup some of the costs I put into the channel. That's my first priority.
Well, yeah, with all the stuff you bought to make the videos with, yeah.
So
it's all for fun. So
yeah, I'm having fun. One day I'd like it to turn into a real business, but who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, so you don't have to get up at 4 a.m.
I probably will anyway.
You probably will, right? Be up to make, because you have to keep up with Pete and his hundreds of videos that he makes that he puts out, every week.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing that. I got over 300 videos. I don't think they're all public yet, but I got over 300 videos already. And my wife is calling me now. So
All right.
Well, thanks for stopping by.
Hey, man, thanks for the information. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Peace.
Talk to you soon. Play on, gamers.